Yeah, thank you for humoring me on the
Yeah,
history.
yeah. So with that out of the way, let's jump into game one here. So this is game one, round one. I am playing Asa Group, the HV ident on the left, playing against Kit. Asa Group has the passive that allows you to, when you install a card. Uh, oh yeah, you're just gonna see my mouse. That is my mouse cursor from the recording in the past.
Hmm.
So that's not my current mouse cursor. That one's blank. Asa Group's an HB ident. I'm gonna quick talk about that. I'm playing on the Corp side. For those not familiar, Corp has all the points. They're trying to score 7 before the runner steals 7. We'll kind of walk through as this game progresses, all that. But Asa is when you install a card for the first time, you get a second install in or protecting that same server. So, like, if you play an asset from your hand, you can play an ice immediately in front of it as a free install. It effectively gives you a free action every turn that you use it. Kit is not a action economy runner, but turns ice into code gates. First piece of ice encountered. Oh, wow, that's actually not a chosen trigger. That's just the first.
It is, yeah.
But so Kit can pressure servers a lot easier because all you need is a code gate and you can get through one ice.
Yep. Yeah, she's more about accessibility than economy, I'd say.
This hand sucks. I'm going to be mulliganing it pretty quickly here because fully operational is not a card I want and as a double in my opener.
Okay. Was that the only reason? I mean, I also you didn't have any ice either.
Yeah, to quick go back to that. Yeah, this has a couple issues. Like, this is a hand that has 2 cards that just aren't going to be doing much. Let me see if I can catch myself looking at fully operational because then I can. Nope, of course not. No, damn it.
Oh, dang.
I had it.
You had it.
Gotta find that one frame. There it is.
So yeah, fully operational is this operation that either gain 2 credits or draw 2, and then for each remote you have, like, guarded and something in it, you get to repeat that. The idea with this deck, Asa, is that it's going to be making a bunch of weak servers in the sense that they're going to be like a thing protected by 1 ice, rather than like one strong server that's like 1 server protected by 3 ice or something like that.
Yeah, or
quantity over quality.
Or just jamming out servers with no defense, right?
Yes.
And trusting that the trash costs or things like that will keep the defense up.
Yep. So I end up mulliganing this because it also has no defenses, no ice at all. Mulliganing as the Corp is a much more hard deal.
Yeah, it's a very risky bargain.
In Netrunner, you get 1 mulligan, you keep the second hand, no choice. I also have no defenses in this hand, but I have a more interesting set of cards to go with it.
Yeah.
You're going to see this one, how this one turns. Our opponent kept theirs. So
if I had to guess, install Violet level?
Yeah.
Actually, not sure how you would play this hand.
So the first thing you have to consider starting things off. I ended up drawing to see if I could draw into a more like some sort of defense and then go ice install.
Which instead you just drew another agenda, which is bad.
Yeah. So at this point, my hand has 4 points in it, and I cannot defend anything.
Yeah. You also can't make use of your Asa trigger.
Yeah.
You have no ice to throw in that server.
So what I end up doing is I'm deciding that I'm just gonna go start throwing down remotes that hopefully my opponent is going to spend time checking, destroying, because we're right now in the early game where you want to be building up your board, building up your resources in some way. Also, part of this is that, you know, if your hand has, like, Netrunner's a game about bluffing at its core. If my hand has 6 points in it, I don't want to, like very, very, like, panicked, put defenses in front of my hand. That'll make them know that my hand has stuff in it. But if I leave it wide open and just say, come on in, there's nothing of value.
Yeah, so right here on the runner's turn, like, they have no ice to have to fight. So they can run anywhere, and looking at your hand gens, it looks like the worst possible turn the runner could make would just be to run HQ 4 times and try to steal your points from your
Yes,
hand.
but instead, them installing Miss Bones tells me exactly what they're going to be doing for the next couple turns.
Yep.
Miss Bones is a card that effectively gives you, like you pay 2 and you get $12, which is an incredible payout. But you can only use the bucks to trash cards in play, and I just put a bunch of cards in play that have no defense. So I think we can kind of tell where things are going to be going from there. Sidebar: most of the various color clearance cards all are references from Paranoia. Yeah, it follows.
Oh, really? I actually didn't know that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Paranoia, that one tabletop game we played a while back. Like, you have different, like, color clearances for what information you should know. Anyway, so they played Miss Bones, so they're going to be trashing my stuff here, which sucks because it's going to be very hard for me to set up. Losing MCA and losing Moomba Temple. Or sorry, not Moomba Temple. I lost my Lakshmi. Moomba Temple's still fine.
Yeah. Though on the other hand, the runner has spent most of their turn and has really only accomplished setting back gens. So
their final play is a copy of Rizeki. Rizeki is one of the most popular cards right now. Rizeki is a 2-cost program that gains you $1. Gaining $1, like this card will pay itself off after a couple turns. Depending on your philosophy of what payoff on a card is. You know, like there's like level 1 of it pays off its cost. Great, cool. There's level 2 of it pays off its cost, plus the cost of you playing it, plus all that jazz. But
yeah, plus the click you spent playing it, then there's the card you spent drawing it.
But
like, yeah.
The point is they will be having a money influx continuing throughout the game. It's a very popular card. It's 1 influence. All right, so I draw another agenda. I draw to try to find any sort of defense, and then
you finally drew 1 ice. It looks like.
And then again, as I mentioned, I absolutely positively do not want to like ice HQ here.
My goodness, I would be so scared right now.
They will know that everything. We're all like, especially because like if we talk about factions, Shaper, the faction my opponent's playing, I even just pull a credit for 6 there. I don't.
Jesus.
Shaper, the faction my opponent's playing, is all about like R&D access. That's one of their biggest bits. So like if I leave that open, perhaps that will be where they feel like they need to take action.
Yeah, generally Shapers will have more business to do in R&D. They will have more cards that key off of it. And even here you can just see he's poking R&D. Yeah.
Yeah. So our opponent,
rather than checking HQ.
Right. So by leaving HQ open, I'm defending HQ through the nothing defense.
Yeah, you are signaling there's nothing important here, so don't even bother looking.
Right.
Which is working very well so far, it looks like.
Yeah. So they got a credit. They're going to run this server to try to check what I have.
I mean, knowing what that ice is, obviously it helps, but I don't like this run here.
I think it's fine to force me, especially with how little money I have. They want to force me to spend something, right?
True. I guess just knowing that the Rizeki's about to get smashed probably changes my view a bit here. But
so Hagen here is a barrier that gets weaker the more icebreakers the opponents has. So if they have like a full setup, usually 3, it's 3 strength, which is quite low for its cost. But it's subroutine, so the way a run works, they run at a place, the ice gets res. They either break it with an icebreaker or don't. And if they don't, it does its text. First, trashing a program that is not a Dakota Refractory Killer icebreaker, effectively, and then ending the run. This is going to be very nice for me because all of a sudden they're like running money that they were hoping to get from Rizeki is going to be out. And here's me just sort of...
Yeah, so you're getting a little bit of value by resing the Moomba Temple first, which has 2 recurring credits on it, which you can use to res the Hagen.
Yep.
So you effectively save $1 on resing Hagen.
Yep. And so...
I actually never noticed that first line of text on Hagen. Or it gets weaker for each breaker installed.
Yeah, we're actually going to see that come up in a different game. But the fact
Hmm.
that this gets their econ is pretty strong here, because that means they're going to be in setup mode.
Right. Well, and this is doing like double duty. This is one, defending your econ, and two, destroying the runner's econ. So
yeah.
very, very good play here.
So continuing along, I'm finally actually seeing defenses.
Yeah, so you've drawn a second piece of ice. And a Jeeves. Okay.
Yeah, so Jeeves here is a pretty neat one that is kind of one of the backbreakers in the deck. If you take the same action 3 times in a row, you get a 4th action as the corp.
Yep.
And I've decided to go all in on this plan here. I've decided that the actual line I want is they're not going to be testing me, so I'm going to leave that alive. Also, making a second server like this lets me play fully operational.
Wow. Going down to 4 cards with 3 agendas in hand. Jeez.
Very ballsy.
Okay, so you do draw.
Yeah,
that's good.
We're gonna draw 2 and I
then
think gain 4.
Gain 2 or gain 4. Yeah, that seems like a good plan.
And I think discard a violet. When the corp discards, they discard face down. And again, the main idea of this game is that hidden information means our opponent has no idea where where's the queen. We're playing that sort of shell game, and as long as they don't know where that is, they don't know that there's 6 of the 7 points to win in my hand. That's the big thing. One of the other things that's also okay. They're still running R&D. They're still going to be running through there.
They apparently believe you that your hand is worthless, so they're trying to find the agendas anywhere else.
How many points are in the deck? This deck contains 21 for the corp, 18 for the runner. To elaborate on that, there's a card in the deck called Global Food Initiative. Let's go ahead and pull up Global Food.
Yeah.
Global Food Initiative, which when I Google it actually pulls up. Wow, that's not not at all what I wanted. Okay.
The card.
It's a 5 advancement cost neutral agenda that's worth 3 points by default. But is worth 1 less while in the runner score area.
Yeah. So when I score this, it is 3 of the 7 I need to win. When the runner steals it, it is it is 2.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I just played another freaking
So yeah, you did another fully operational, drew some more cards. So you still only have 3 pieces of ice.
So at this point, if we take a look at my hand,
that's 5 agendas, I think.
That's 5 agendas, yes.
5 agendas, 3 ice. So now do you ice HQ? Because if you discard down, you're going to have a hand of all agendas at the end of this turn.
I am holding a cybernetics court, which lets me have my hand size of 9.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. That helps. Because I got to say, if you remember, their ability is the first ice that they run into becomes a code gate. So you got to have at least like 2 ice up to hit them with something that they aren't going to be familiar with. But they don't even have a icebreaker set up yet.
Yeah, they don't have anything of that nature.
So what's your rationale for defending Cybernetics Court? Because I look at it as a 0 to res, 5 to trash asset that is generally not going to be a target by the runner.
Miss Bones being in play was the main.
That's true. Miss Bones just changed that.
That's the only real reason there on that. And you'll see I'll res this. So right now, my hand is if they ran HQ 4 times, the game ends. Just that. Yeah, that is straight what would occur. Again,
all the points on our knees are just right there.
They don't know that, so it doesn't matter. As long as the Phantom Defense holds, it's fine. The opponent has no money and no money-making cards in play, so I do not fear them running HQ 4 times. The only reason I think they would run HQ 4 times in this scenario would be because I either signaled something or they think that they're in such a bad position that they need to play extremely loose.
Right. And given that the score is 0-0, I think both players are relatively comfortable just playing out the game a bit more.
So I'm going to res one of my econ cards, Maryland Campaign. I get to pay it for free because of Moomba, and it pays out $8 over 4 turns. They trash a Rashida off the top of my deck, and I draw a Rashida. At this point, okay, what do you do in this scenario? What's your move here?
Man, this is where I would res my Jackson Howard. So I have sitting on the table.
I like that move.
Apart from that, though, man, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, again, we're at 5 agendas. A card that says draw 5. We have 2 cards that both draw a billion cards.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would probably be looking to play Violet level clearance this turn. Probably with my extra click from Jeeves, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Another one.
So
draw.
You'll notice here, I think I messed this up. I think I draw, res, Jeeves, draw, and then it doesn't trigger the Jeeves because
it should trigger, though, even if it's on res.
Yes, but it doesn't because it... either because
client issue,
or I misunderstand that it does need to see all 3. Anyway, I don't get the click from this, but
because it definitely should trigger just per the rules. Because Jeeves only cares about the 3rd click you spend.
Yeah,
I think.
But yeah, the idea there is I wanted to draw into an ice and then actually put up some goddamn defenses.
Yeah, so you'll have 1 discard at your end of turn.
Yeah, so I think I literally throw is it the Violet or I throw points in the yard?
I think if you throw points, it has to be GFI, right?
Yeah, no.
Violet, okay.
Yeah, so again...
Yeah, that seems right after drawing so many cards.
Yeah, who would walk in the front door? Who would do that? See, our opponent is spending a lot of time on basic runner actions, and that is not the place you really want to be. Like, especially, like, with nothing... Like, they're not advancing their board in any way. They're just sort of, like, making generic, like, very slow money. This is what gives me the time to do anything here.
Just from the numbers perspective, you got a lot going on, and he still just has bones. Like,
yeah.
What's going on over there?
Hasn't played cards yet. This is the 3rd card he's played this game.
Yep.
This dirty laundry, so...
Yeah, so again, the focus on R&D. At this point, I'd like to point out just mathematics here. Mathematics are a ton of what make up your accesses in Netrunner, in my mind. You have to know what the odds are as with most information you have. Right now, looking at my hand, there are 6 agendas. My deck plays 9. That means that an R&D access is a 3 in 25 for the opponent to steal. They
15 of your points in your hand right now.
Yeah, they have a running R&D at this point is super free. I don't care. They can't even win off of running R&D.
Yeah, they could literally access every card in your deck and not win currently.
So,
but the runner doesn't know that.
Yeah. What it means is that the only threat I feel until they finally figure out that there's no, that R&D's nothing, is Apocalypse. At this stage,
which you are currently wide open.
Wide open. If they APOC'd the game, like, doesn't end, but I lose a lot of advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super curious. This is like turn 3, and they still haven't even bothered to look at your hand. Like,
no,
aren't they at least curious to see what you have?
I feel like like one of the things about that is that, like, Cybernetics Court makes that a much harder proposition.
Yeah.
So Cybernetics Court makes my hand 9 cards, and, like, assume that you have 2 agendas you could access out of 5 cards. It's 40%. But, if you guess for, like, 2 agendas out of
9
cards, it's super low odds.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where I finally am making forward plays to end this game. Everything I do from here is going to just be scoring points, and I plan on winning this game 4 turns from now. I have enough money, I have enough cards, everything's going to be fine. I installed successful field test which is a 4-2 agenda. Jeeves will let me score that in 1 turn. Because I can take the advance action 3 times and then 4th.
So I assume this is the case, but is successful field test is the agenda that you most want to score in this deck?
Actually, if I could just choose to score my first agenda, it would be to get a GFI scored.
Yeah, just to get the 5-3 out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what the other piece of defense I have here is MCA austerity policy. I'm playing this out right now as a time sink. MCA austerity policy is a dangerous card. You can take a click to make your opponent lose a click. That's okay. Clicks are not equivalent on both sides. It's hard to say that, like, like they're losing 25% of their turn to 33% of yours.
Right.
But the final ability on it that lets you trash it to gain 4 clicks if it has been used 3 times means that this needs to die. The main reason I'm using it and setting it up now is because I want to score this agenda on the table. And the agenda on the table is guarded by a piece of ice that could be clicked through 3 times. I'm pretty sure that's my... Wait, no, is it my Hagen, or do I put my Fairchild in front of that? I think
it's Hagen.
didn't see.
I think it's Hagen. I think Fairchild's on my... But the thing I'm still most scared of is my opponent just apocalypsing out of nowhere. Apocalypse needs them to run on all 3 central servers, Grave, Hand, Deck, and then at Wrath of Gods. But if you only have 3 actions in your turn, you cannot Wrath of God.
Wrath of God in this context being remove all ice.
And
Yes.
assets.
Yeah, all installed corp cards are
Yeah.
gone.
Okay.
But so you're right that taking one of their clicks is a soft counter to Apocalypse, but any deck that is actually dedicated to doing that probably is going to include some way to gain extra clicks in order to counter that.
Right. The main thing here is I want to do it this turn, right now, and get my opponent to waste some time. They end up playing this Nanotk, and which is a Sentry Breaker, which doesn't really change a lot of my choices here. It's actually, I think it's a pretty reasonably efficient thing.
Stim hack.
So they're going to try and kill. The stim hack here makes me laugh because they have to know that this is a tour guide.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, he must have saw that on R&D at some point.
Yeah, I think that is what happened here. Is my opponent's seen, so like, to talk about that, you like, a lot of this game is knowledge, and the fact that my opponent's run R&D and scored no points is not nothing. 4 turns ago, or 4 or 5 turns ago, I drew that piece of ice. It was the only piece of ice I had drawn, and I installed it. They know, like, okay, that's a sentry. Like, I can break that. They want to go break up Jeeves. So tour guide here is going to cost 4 for them to break, and then they're just going to go use the other 5 to make Jeeves go away, which does prevent me from scoring.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good play here.
Yeah. Though I think from this position, this is where the game gets a little bit out of their control.
Yeah, well, they still have 0 cards, basically. They have a breaker and a Miss Bones, right?
Yeah, they discard their barrier breaker for they're playing
the rain damage.
Yeah, they're playing in faction ones.
Yeah, and Kit only has 10 influence, so she has limited options for what she can pull out of faction.
Yeah. So I still love looking at my hand of like a billion. There's going to be a short
all of these agendas
break here.
So yeah, and you're currently gaining, it looks like 4 credits turn from your assets. You got a Maryland and a Mumba.
Effectively.
You're looking pretty rich. You got 12 right now.
So you have an agenda on the table, but you can't score it.
Correct.
So I wonder, I guess, do you advance it once to try to score it over the next turn? Or do you just try to get another Jeeves down?
So my thought process is I advance it twice.
Ooh.
Oh. That's kind of a tell, right?
Yeah.
Because 1 is a power counter for something. 2 means that you're building up something.
So 2 usually means either you're scoring a 5-3 or you have a NGO front.
Yes, like
which is a bluff card meant to pose as a 5/3 base, basically.
influence is a resource for deck building that determines what cards you can have from outside. Yes, so like Stim Hack, the card they played, that's a red up there. That is from out of
Faction, yeah. So, yep. Kit is a Shaper. That's the green color faction, and then Anarch is the orange-red faction.
To talk about the choice though, the main reason I'm going successful field test, they kicked out that was like a buddy of theirs that was like watching their games, but like spectators were disallowed unless they were specifically from the stream. If I remember right, the reason I double advance this is so that I can advance, score it, and then
this is always cool.
Like a successful field test lets you slam any number of cards from your hand into play, ignoring all costs. So we're gonna go ahead and just set up like all sorts of locations. I'm gonna use server 4 as a location for Rashida. If they want to spend that much money to get in on Rashida, that's fine. I have to skip the ASA install. But the bigger thing here is I spent 2 of the 3 clicks scoring my successful field test. Now I got a free click that installed successful field test, and a free click that lets me install a piece of ice in front of the new one. And now I can advance.
Click to advance it. Yeah.
A successful field test.
So your gamble of doing 2 clicks the previous turn is paid off.
Because now next turn I have 3 clicks, I can score that again, and I'll have drawn 4 cards. Rashida draws 3 plus my 1 for turn, so hopefully I can just draw some more goods.
Yeah. Currently, I think you just need money to score out at this point.
Yeah, and Rashida gives you 3, so
because the runner is still not threatening really any of your servers.
Yeah.
Your hand is still the thing that he needs to hit. I still haven't seen him even run it.
Yeah. Well, now you have the, I think it's the Fairchild 3, yeah.
Yeah.
On HQ, so, and tier on R&D.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
R&D is just leave. Like, tier is like, oh, look at the art on Harmony AR Therapy. You're just thinking about dogs.
Oh.
Like, I'm going back so that I can pull up thinking about dogs, you know? Like this is what Harmony AR Therapy feels like. You just lay
I've never
in bed,
noticed the dogs in that art.
Happy thoughts.
You are thinking, breathe in and out, and visualize your happy place.
I like how it's photorealistic dogs.
Yeah, it just beaming floofy dogs in your brain. Like,
like everything has always been animated, but these dogs are photorealistic, actual pictures of dogs. I think.
Now the Harmony AR Therapy is a reference to Harmony AR Lab Access. Harmony AR Lab Access was a shaper card that was Time Twister.
You're thinking of Levy.
Or Levy, Levy. Yeah. What's Harmony? What's the other one I'm thinking?
Harmony is the medical company that Jinteki owns.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Levy AR Lab Access. Yeah. Sorry about that. But Levy AR Lab Access is shuffle your entire hand and grave into your deck, draw 5, exile this card. Like, it's a time twister, you know. It is a card that got kind of replaced by this sort of recursion because turns out time twister to play your deck 4 times got really busted very quickly.
Yeah.
So
and Netrunner is a game. I don't know if it's just like a fast enough game, but you do tend to draw through your deck quite frequently. Right. As a runner and fairly often as corp.
So yeah, we're gonna use Rashida again. So Rashida is a really neat card that has been played ubiquitously since her release. At the beginning of your turn, you may trash Rashida to draw 3 and gain 3. This is like the most hyper, both dark writ tempo play you can make, but also the trash cost of 1 means like they find Rashida explodes. Rashida just like But
fragile.
But gain 3, draw 3, that's 6 normal actions. And so you can see here my plan of drawing 3 cards to install more stuff is going to pay pretty heavy dividends because I just drew 4 assets.
Heck yeah.
We're going to score a successful field test and like slam 60% of this hand into play. At this point,
you're looking at the GFI. Yep.
At this point, all I need to do is score GFI to win.
So we're really seeing your deck finally like really lift off. This is what this deck does.
This is
It feeds into itself
Oh,
and then it like
yeah.
critically expands.
that's me messing up the Asa install. So,
Yeah.
luckily, Jinteki is not Magic Online. You could like it is. You can just sort of like more manually do things if things break. So, but yeah, I ended up installing over it and backing up because it's not what was meant to happen here. Anyway, then I think everything else goes into a new remote. Just here you go. But yeah, my opponent, sadly, playing Kit. We haven't seen a code breaker.
No.
I know.
Like no decoder.
Like
has
Kit's
not-
thing is turn your first dice into a code breaker. I will always get in with my code breaker, but where is it?
Right. It means that I didn't really like. I had to, install medium defenses, but never any big ones. Deuce's Wild is sort of a charm or command that lets you do some small things. Choose 2 of 4.
Yeah. Well, and you've only had to res 2 pieces of ice so far this game.
Yes.
So, like, the runner had a pretty aggressive start, but slowed way down towards
The loss
mid-game.
of Rizeki hurt.
Yeah. Because what? This is turn 9, so that's 8 credits gone.
Yes, they would
from
be
the
at.
runner.
They would either be at 14 or not have had to. Yeah, so they're just gonna go run Moomba Temple, and that's whatever. It's fine if they want to spend time doing that. I'm sure at this point I'm asking, go on and run that tier. It's fine.
Yeah.
Tier is like a hell-sized piece of ice. It's like
It's mean.
it's
And that's on your R&D, right?
yeah. That because
Yeah.
they were just running R&D a bunch. It's like, well, if you want to come on in, I ain't gonna stop. I ain't gonna fully stop you, but I will crush you for it. Basically, it's there in case they go for like some sort of Maker's Eye push or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this game is going to end in 2 turns here. From this point on, I don't believe that with 5 credits and no installed codebreaker, I don't believe that this is a winnable game state for them unless they were able to steal points from other locations. Because they're not going to be able to stop my... there's another agenda. We're at 7 of 9 here. So... yeah, just use this to res Jeeves and then advance 4 times and pass, I think is...
Really? So you loaded up with 4 counters and pass?
Pretty sure that's what... No, I think I did 3 and then...
A credit, maybe?
did some
Card.
math and did a credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
3 makes sense because you get the Jeeves trigger, but 4 just seems like an unnecessary risk.
Yeah. So from here, though, like they're spending actions to draw. They would have to install a barrier breaker and a code gate breaker. No, sorry. They would have to install a barrier breaker and then have 4 plus whatever is necessary to break Hagen, which is probably another 3. So they would have to have, like, play a paperclip and then stim hack is effectively what they would need to do to not lose in this position. Because Nanak can break Tour Guide for 4 at this point.
Well, and even if they do, you just follow it up with install advance,
Advance.
another GFI, and
And then
they're going to lose that
then
way.
they have to do it again. Then I
Yeah.
install advance GFI. Then they have to do it again.
Yeah.
So, Miss Bones returns.
Ms. Bones is not the card that the runner wants right now.
Yeah, so
They're in a tough spot right now. I really feel for them because they see those 3 advances. They know
Yeah.
that's an agenda, and they got 2
Yeah.
ice in front of it and not a lot to work with,
end up going ahead and taking
and no
out.
time to fix it now.
Yeah. So yeah, this one ends here. They go ahead and crash Jeeves, which is a play that does help slow me down, but it's way too
It's
late
too
for
late.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game was definitely one that in another against a different style of opponent or against somebody who was a little more aggressive on HQ, I might have folded. I might have just whoops.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So
I mean, even just against a criminal, you might have just completely gotten smashed, you know?
Yeah, I mean, what it took was just them being more aggressive to HQ.
Yep.
But
All right. So now the other side of the match.
Yep. So a match in Netrunner is both sides. You play Corp, they play Runner, and then you play Runner, they play Corp. I was playing Tenma. Apparently there were like 4 or 5 Tenma players in day 2. Like I saw on the list, but I think I was the only day
there's
1
actually
Tenma player.
a few Kentenmas. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. Tenma here is all about like, can you only score agendas on your own turn? Yes, unless a card specifically says some other text otherwise. Like 99% yes is the answer to that. You cannot like put 5 counters on it and then wait for your opponent to run and then score it. You would have to like you have
scoring
to,
is an action that does not take a click but can only be done on your turn.
Yeah. So yeah, Tenma here is all about like forward pressure with like event like run events. Run events are cards that you play to like make a run and do stuff. We're going through some Worlds games is what we're doing here. I decided that, and I wanted to answer questions as they came up to try to help out. I ended up mulliganing because 5 run events is not the style of hand I want to see. Ken
loves run events.
But
This is a very good looking hand, though.
Ken needs a little bit of assistance, like with some hardware to get rolling. Again, Ken is the first run event every turn. You gain a credit back.
Like this to me looks like it might be an ideal hand. You've got 2 money cards, a Swift, and a special order, which can guarantee you a breaker of some kind.
Yeah, the only thing I might want a little more would be like a copy of
Do you play Earthrise in this deck?
No. I play Class Act instead.
Class Act. Yes, that would probably be good too.
So anyway, our opponent, Acme Consulting NBN, the first ice we encounter in a run, you count as tagged. You have 1 additional tag. So certain ice are going to be a lot more dangerous to us because we are tagged.
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty cool.
is a fairly unpopular identity though.
Yeah.
What is NBN's shtick these days? What can you expect from an NBN?
Tags generally is their shtick.
Yeah, but what do those tags do?
So in practice, the couple of cards that punish you for tags are like the equivalent of you've been found as the runner. You know, they
targeted.
They have your address on a post-it note. It's like 1 tag, and like you literally sent them
like 8 tags is like they have a satellite that's just for you.
Yeah. The biggest card that punishes you is a card that just deals 2 damage for each tag you have. Damage is discarding cards at random. If you can't, you die. So one thing you're going to see out of every opponent, literally every opponent, is that they're weirdly going to ice HQ right in front of their identity. As Shaper cares about R&D as their biggest thing, Criminal has a lot of pressure for HQ, stealing money, making you discard cards, getting your cards from hand. A lot of it's like that. So there's always a defense that goes on HQ very early because you don't want all your money stolen. That would suck. Anyway, they put down 2 ice and draw. I go ahead and draw to start because I basically always draw to start with this deck. Because if I draw into Class Act, because the 2 cards I want to see Swift, and I want to see Public Terminal. Swift you can see up in the upper right. I only need 1 of this. It's a unique hardware. The first time I play a run event, gain a click. And as Ken knows, the red ones go faster. This means that right here, like I have 1 click remaining. Like, I can play Dirty Laundry on Archives, and Dirty Laundry will cost me 2 credits, putting me down to 1 credit, gain me a credit for Tenma. Then it will gain me 5 credits for the successful run, and it will gain me a click. So that's action neutral plus 5. Like,
dang, that's good.
Nice.
Like, plus 4, like, no click.
Oh, yeah, it is plus 4, sorry.
So, like, it's incredibly strong. Once Tenma is going, I basically want to play a run event every turn and then roll out. Class Act is kind of funky. you're going to notice a kind of strange interaction here. I'm going to play the class act, and the way the class act worked is at the end of the turn, when the turn ends, draw 4. And then the first time you draw each turn, you look at 2, draw 1, effectively. If you draw, like, if it was this trigger, you would look at 5, draw 4. But what you're going to see is that I'm going to end turn, go up to 8 cards, and not have to discard, because it happens after the end of turn. Timing structures are a little strange in Netrunner. So. This can be like a defense against, like, discard. Anyway, they're gonna go ahead and set up a server. They still haven't made any money. Set up a server, set up a card knit, advance that card. So,
So what are you thinking when you see that?
With the hard part is, with Acme, I'm not, like, it's hard for me to know. Like, so NBN in general, if I'm thinking of, like, so let's take a look at the board state. We have $4 for the corp. They have a couple different options available for them. They, like, what those ice could be. IP block could be one of the ones on some of the centrals. Slot machine could be some of the cheap ice. But it's hard really to tell exactly what we're going to be doing, like what their ice possibly could be here.
What about the advanced card? What do you have that pegged as currently?
This cheap, this early, I'm pretty certain that has to be an agenda.
Yeah,
I think
so. Because, like, I remember back in the old days of Netrunner, you would never make that aggressive of a play versus criminal, because you would basically always be expecting them to be holding the inside job.
Right, which, funnily enough, I'm not, but I am the inside job runner.
Yeah.
But,
so I guess I would almost tend towards not an agenda, but you're right. There's almost nothing else that they would be trying to push out this quickly.
Here's the thing, like, the next thing that you would expect that to be would be a NGO, right?
Right.
But I would just nude NGO advance.
True.
Like, I don't think it would be worth the 5 for me to do that, especially when I'm this broke, right? Like, they have not made any money this game. But what it is that so again, I'm kind of checking, like, when are these tags? What's up? So I go ahead and play out public terminal. And I'm thinking, well, screw it. The easiest play here is the easiest criminal play in the world, right? If they don't have money, they can't stop me. So
go take their money.
I'm pretty sure I boomerang HQ and diversion of funds here. It costs me nothing. Like, diversion of funds in this deck is hilarious. So
yeah, you'll get a click back. That's sick.
Boomerang's pretty cool.
This is why I love criminal. He plays this card in the server, and you have all this bluffing game involved in Netrunner, and you're like, screw that! I'm just going to take all your money. We're not going to play that.
One question: how much do you think your deck choice affected your record? So fun. It's funny, I talked about how I didn't think my deck was good against Asa. I did not play against Asa.
Really?
No.
Wow.
So, if I had played against that deck, maybe I'd think it was, like, a bad choice, but I didn't play against it. So anyway,
dang.
As was mentioned by Bushi in the chat, the line of play in my mind here is pretty simple, and funnily enough, really, really nice for me. I had $3 going into this turn. I played Public Terminal, which is a recurring credit for run events, the other best card in this deck. And then I played Boomerang, which you choose an ice, it can break 2 subroutines on that ice, and then shuffle them in. I have no money right now, but I'm still able to play Diversion of Funds. You'll see Diversion of Funds up there. Make a run on HQ. Instead of accessing cards, force them to lose 5, you gain 5, up to 5. But if you take a look at where my resources are right now, I have 0. I've got nothing. And then I'm going to play Diversion of Fun, gain a click, gain a credit, and then I'm going to steal all their money. Like,
This is criminal doing crimes. He has nothing, and he's getting everything from it.
yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and, steal all your money. It's diversion of funds. Yes, I'm at 5 credits. And I'm pretty sure my click 5 is just run. The reasoning here, you might think, like, well, why aren't you bravadoing? I want to play 1 run event every turn. That's
To try to get the most out of basically the 3 cards that you have for your economy engine right now.
Yes, every card I have right now is first run event, effectively.
Yeah.
So I could play Bravado and gain $7 on the run, or I could wait, play Bravado, gain $9
And a click.
Yeah.
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 And now that they have no credits, you still want to find out what's in that server.
Oh yeah.
right?
At this point, they've got no money. Let's see what this is. I think this is the one I have a giant laugh over, and we're going to see.
Oh.
No,
is this
okay. No, this is they actually did NGO for 1 there.
okay?
Not yet. So the NGO is the other card, like as we said, we would expect there. And the reason I didn't run at the server directly is because, like, I wasn't, it's like, well, if that's not an agenda, and they made, as you said, that's a super aggressive play to actually be an agenda. You're correct. You made the correct identification. Running out an agenda there would be very foolish, especially with melee cards.
What exactly does NGO say?
NGO is a trick, effectively. You sacrifice it at instant speed to gain money according to how many advancement tokens are on it. NGO will gain you $5 if it has 1 advancement, or $8 if it has 2.
Okay.
So when I run on this server, they immediately sacrifice it and they gain their $5. So anyway, they have their money. I access the nothing, and then the turn ends. However, I still stole their $5. They're now on, instead of 9, they're on 5, and I have a boomerang that gives me the full access on HQ, which you're going to see me bungle. This will be fun.
Oh gosh.
If I remember this game right, I do a little bit of bungling every once in a while here. So they install a card in the server, gain $1, and might try, or they just go ahead and gain another $1. The thing about NGO that makes it so powerful is that, like, as we talked about, install advance is this play that when you make it, it's like, well, shit, I have to answer you, right? Like, oh yeah, okay. So check this out. Anybody who's familiar with Netrunner is going to know exactly what's going to happen here. But I'm running HQ with $4.
What exactly is going on?
I'm running HQ with Bravado. Bravado will gain. It costs 3, gains you 6 plus 1 for each ice you pass on the run, but it gains it after the run ends. So this is me making a ton of money. Is what I'm trying to do.
Got it.
I want to make bank, and I want to know what's up.
And honestly, I wouldn't even really consider this a mistake. Like,
to me, it's just funny. To me, it's just hilarious because
it's funny. Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. This is the next one. Shit. I make this run like 4 times, by the way. But yeah, I'm certain I see.
This is an interesting tech
so
here.
This is where I'm very confused.
Runner trashes 1 or more cards in or protecting this server, including this card. Trace 4. If successful, the runner must trash 2 of their installed cards. Huh.
Yeah. I've never seen this card in my life. In the sense that I've never seen it played. I've obviously seen the card, but like for this to be like a main deck inclusion is a very like all of a sudden I'm like, what is happening? Because yeah, there's a couple cards that are commonly played that this can do some counter against, but like.
So yeah, that tells me that he's probably trying to leverage some like must trash assets and or upgrades in a server.
Yeah, so I'm at $4. I'm like, what the hell? Screw that. I'm not letting that stick. Because if I
So you actually do trash it from hand, okay.
Yeah, because if it comes into play and I have to like run a server and there's a must trash, I have to lose
Yeah.
Class Act, which is fine, but I'd have to lose like my Boomerang or something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're going to see Class Act is look at the top 2, pick one. I end up picking the Tapeworm here. I had to think a little bit on it.
It's a tough call.
Anyway, my want here is to overdraw. The overdraw here is because of the red card in my hand, Paperclip. Paperclip is a barrier breaker that can be installed from the grave. So I don't want it in my hand. I just don't.
Yeah, it's actually better when it's in your discard pile.
Yeah, because I can.
Is that instant speed install from the grave?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's literally during the run. You just
So-
throw it down.
So, like, to play a card from my hand, I have to take one of my 4 actions to play it. To install Paperclip from my grave, it happens without that click. It happens as soon as I encounter a barrier. Anyway, Tapeworm here is an annoyance. For every $5 the corp has, I gain $1. It's here as a way to annoy the runner.
Mhm.
Or, sorry, annoy the corp. But yeah.
I mean, it's a fine card, right?
Yes.
It's a lot like Pad Tap, I think, where it's the 0 cost contingent econ card that can also be disrupted by the corp.
Yeah. So this is them rushing out of Beal. So this gets them 2 points. I'm basically fine with this. They're a little, like, they don't have a lot as far as money goes or any econ. So, like, them rushing out the points here is not too bad. It's a bit of it's a bit sad because it's like, oh, I didn't check that server. But that's kind of part of Netrunner. What this makes me think, though, is somebody that's rushing out points might be rushing out points because they're scared of me stealing points from their hand. You know,
Yeah.
One of the answers to I have 5 agendas in my hand is to score them. So this is me immediately thinking, legwork you.
Yeah, with how little board the corp has right now, it's a sign that their hand is pretty crap.
So IPO, which I find interesting, they were on $7 to start last turn. I don't know if maybe Tapeworm got them to not do that, or if they just wanted to get that off the table. IPO is 8, gain 13, end your turn. Okay, here it is. This is it. So
Daily quest.
so-
So you trash it for 3?
So yeah, daily quest is and then you accessed
No!
No.
God.
There it
So
is.
Bologna is part of a cycle, effectively. It's not like a true cycle, but the idea is that it's a 5/3 that self-defends.
Yeah.
So when you see Bologna, it's basically, this one's closer to like NAPD contract, which, you know. Anyway, I need 5 credits to steal it. I even had 7 going in, and I'm like, well, I'm good now. But
I know you had it.
But I didn't want to leave daily quests because, like, if they can actually defend a daily quest, all of a sudden their money woes are gone.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you still don't have any breakers yet, even though you have the one special order.
yeah. Well, actually, I have all 3 breakers at this point.
Oh, I guess that's true. You've got Paperclip in the heap and Book Altar in your hand too. Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, I actually have them. I just need to like spend the time to get them down, and I feel like I wouldn't have like a. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of setup, and then we're gonna slowly get. Oh well, this one's easy. Get me an inside job. Put my second copy of my console down. Yeah, so I just decided to go ahead and install Book
Throw it on the
Altar.
Book Altar.
Next turn, I'm going to be dirty laundering to gain $1 billion. And like,
Yeah, because now you need to get $5 and go back in there, right?
at some point, I need to get $5 and go back in there because I know there's 3 points in the opponent's hand. Alternately, so they're at $4 and like they don't have a lot of like money at the mo, so it's going to be a little.
Does Bologna still require the payoff if it's installed?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I believe it's just you need to pay 5 to steal this card.
Yeah.
I think it's what it is too.
Like, which one's the one that doesn't? Is that Future Perfect?
Yeah, that's the one that doesn't trigger when it's installed.
Yeah. So again, talking about looking at what I have here, I have 4 clicks, 2 credits. Like, so I actually go ahead and put the Angolo on bottom here. I'm pretty sure, or actually no, I think about this one, and like, because the Angolo is the only other breaker in the deck.
And you're holding the tutor for it currently.
Yes. So this is me thinking: do I put it on the bottom, or do I just like take it and discard the thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, 3 clicks, 2 credits, and now I'm at like for no click, 3 clicks, 7 credits.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
When you access HQ, is the revealed card random or defenders? It's random. 1 random card.
Yeah, so if you run HQ 4 times in a turn, you might see the same card 4 times.
Yeah.
With bad luck, yeah.
It's very frustrating when that happens.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I didn't point out. I'm pretty sure from this turn forward, this is where I realize my opponent is actually actively playing around Tapeworm.
Ah,
Yeah,
he's on 4 currently.
Did it again.
So that's why they didn't play IPO the turn before, was that the Tapeworm made it so they didn't want to gain money. But on the downside, if you tailor your play to try to play around me gaining $1,
He has to always stay below $5, which
Right.
makes him easier to target.
yeah. So
Yeah, this tapeworm is very mischievous.
high CBI raid.
The CDI raid.
Hey, that's a good looking picture.
Sure like that one. I put it on the bottom here because I do not want to give time as a resource. I already have like other pressure tools.
This is the second card made by a world champ. The first one I think was Deuces Wild.
No,
Deuces Up.
First one was Architect.
Architect was the first. Yep.
No, that we've seen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this
Yes,
game. Yeah.
yes. All right. Pretty sure I just like go for the Maker's Eye as my final click, because I need to play a run event. This is just if I don't play a run event, I don't get all of my passives, so I just spend it. Anyway, here's a Gutenberg.
Oof.
It's a pain in the ass.
It has an extra 3 strength while protecting R&D, which this one is. So it's a 2 to res 6 strength sentry with a trace 7. Give a tag. Oof.
Woof.
It's a pain in the ass, is what it is.
Yeah.
At
I
the
mean,
end
it's
of the day, all
almost
it does is
certainly
tag, but
right. It's almost certainly just better to remove the tag after the run, I think. I mean, you could break it with Vugalter or Angolo, but gonna spend way more than you would just removing the tag, I think.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about all these different options. I'm pretty sure I decide that using Bugalter is like effectively the same in my mind.
Because it's 6 to break and then you gain 2, so 4 net.
So
Versus 2 in a click. Yeah, it's pretty
it's
close.
close. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, here's Keegan.
Oof.
whoa, what is that?
Though I guess I will make one point. If you didn't break the ice, you would have enough to steal Bologna.
I'm sure that won't come up in the other 2 accesses.
I'm sure that won't come up.
Yeah, so Keegan Lane, remove a tag, trash a program. Data Raven is Keegan Lane's best friend. That's basically. Anyway, I hit no action. Keegan Lane shows back up again because I saw 2 in a row.
Mm.
And then an NGO front. I decided, yeah, fuck that. I ain't letting you have another like money card here. I'm gonna be making enough money. Again, tapeworms around. So yeah, their ice on R&D is strong, but it doesn't stop you. That's the biggest thing. And I'm not scared of Keegan right now. Anyway,
It's a little scary. I mean, it's a 0 to res upgrade that lets them just trash a program if you're tagged, which you are during the first ice encounter every run or every turn.
Yes. Unless
It's
I
actually
inside
pretty
job
threatening with that deck.
That's some good synergy with their corp.
And then their last action is a preemptive.
Though, actually, wait, no.
I don't think they
if I
can.
recall, Keegan does not work with that idents.
Yeah.
tag.
That's
Because you have to remove a tag
it's
to
dumb.
trigger it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
You can't remove the shadow tag.
the
You
shadow
can't remove
tag
the
is-
shadow tag. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
right.
yeah. So it's funky. Anyway, I'm stealing your money. They have 7 credits. That's too much. They res
Darn fraudster, always committing crimes. What is this?
so they res pachinko.
Actually, kind of a pain to break for you. My God. Now it costs you 6 with Angolo.
Holy crap!
It cost me
Which-
6 with Angolo and 7 with the install plus paperclip activation.
Yeah.
So that's a good example of NBN's like, are you tagged? We own you.
Yeah. So I sit here and this is me doing the math that we're currently talking about.
Yeah. You do have the boomerang on the next ice, so at least you can spend it all here. Do you have enough though if you paperclip? I don't think you do.
I think I choose to bounce,
Okay.
which
Oh man, you're doing all this on 2 credits too.
Man.
yeah.
I find that kind of surprising actually.
Yeah, I think the idea there, I'm trying to think what I would like, because the Angolo could have gotten me full through.
It would have gotten you through the first ice, but you'd be broke. You'd have to depend on the boomerang for the next one.
And I know the boomerang will work. I had a diversion work. I guess I had forgotten like if the boomerang was workable there.
I mean, like, there's the possibility that they just spend their money to res that next ice and then just don't care when you get into HQ.
Yeah, which will be funny when we finally get to learn what that piece of ice is. Anyway, here's the IPO. So now I'm making bank back. We're gonna go ahead and continuously draw. I have to make a choice between embezzle and bravado. I love embezzle, but
Yeah, he's finally got the money,
But you
but
can
he's
see-
finally letting you tapeworm.
anyway, I'm gonna get some cool setup here, and then I think I just run at somewhere with this. At this point, it's just like, screw it. It is actually more efficient for me to play a run event from my hand than to discard it. So I just inside job R&D, I think, here.
Inside jobbing R&D, wow.
Which, you're gonna love this one.
Oh, wow.
Oh come on!
Ah.
All right, we get it. You need $5.
We need like a counter on this video. Of how many times Jen's gotten stuffed by having 4 credits?
Yeah, I mean, look, I remember NAPDs with 3 credits so often, and this is just like, yep.
That agenda gives me nightmares still. Ugh. For anyone who doesn't know, NAPD was an agenda similar to Bologna, except for it was neutral, so everyone played it, and it was a 4-2 that required 4 credits to steal. And had some other text that just didn't really come up ever.
I think it might have been like +2 credits per tag on you or some shit.
No,
bad
it has
pub.
an increased
Bad pub.
agenda requirement per bad pub.
That's
have,
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
which just meant you didn't play bad pub in your deck, and it didn't.
so this one I find like just laughable. I'm not really like the install advance here again. I guess laughable is a little too strong. I think our opponent has 2 Bolognas and like is starting to get agenda flooded.
Yeah, so you've now seen 2 Bolognas in his hand, and you know that 2 NGOs are already trashed. So the odds of this being a Bologna are exceedingly high.
Yeah, there was a preemptive, but I just saw a Bologna on the top of R&D.
Right.
Anyway.
Which, and I guess you having just played Inside Job last turn probably gave your opponent the sense that they were safe from you having another one this turn.
Except for that, I played it because I had.
Except
anyway,
for they'd be wrong, but yeah.
So yeah,
There you go.
You finally got it.
so I steal
3
the
points.
Bologna.
That took 3 times. Bologna, more like baloney. Jesus.
Womp womp.
Yeah, I know.
Bologna.
Baloney.
Are you gonna bury another sure gamble?
Hell
My
yeah!
God.
Hell yeah!
Take
You're a
that,
monster,
Verdant
Jens.
Squire.
Who needs?
You're a monster.
Who needs?
Nailed it. It's mine now.
So pretty sure. So yeah, we stole 1. They still the thing here is I'm still getting like a couple bucks a turn from the tapeworm. They can
Which is pretty dang nice.
they can trash
Yeah.
the tapeworm by skipping their turn.
Which
I
is
would
pretty mean.
I would actually be kind of curious to see how many credits Tapeworm gained you this game.
Yeah.
It's a card that I don't see played often lately, but I think doesn't deserve that status. It's a fine card.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the criminals version of that. What was the green shaper one that just gave you a credit?
Rizeki, yeah,
Yes,
kinda.
in a very similar way. It's a payoff. Funnily, it's cheaper than that. It does have a requirement that you have to have run a central server to install it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's
But I was gonna say,
also-
at the end of the day, they both give you a credit.
If
This one might even
if
give you
you're doing
more.
your job right as Crim and keeping the court broke, you get nothing.
right.
That's
So
a
I
good
guess
point.
there's
So here's them like getting super defensive. You know, one of their 4 Keegans in that server or whatever. You know, they have a billion. Choose wisely. Boomerang or boomerang.
Ooh, I'll take the boomerang.
So you're kind of just setting up still, loading up Katie,
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
drawing.
I'm in end game. Right.
Yeah, you're on 3 points, which you still need 2 scores at least,
Well-
but you're set up. You've got your
Yeah.
econ and your rig. Like you are just waiting for the corp to make a move.
That's the biggest thing here is I'm in full end game of like all 3 breakers. I can break code gates, barriers, sentries. I have my entire econ set up in play, and I have like a couple recurring sources of money, and all I have to do is kind of keep a steady flow of like active pressuring events. That's
Yeah.
it.
Throw in embezzle out every now and then.
The week, I'm gonna bravado here. I think is probably what I'm gonna end up doing at some point here is just bravado at a server somewhere. But the only thing I have in play that kind of sucks is that my boomerang is stuck on a useless piece of ice. Like it is stuck on boomerang's unique and you can't like do anything about that.
Oh, it is unique, yeah.
Anyway, I just choose to discard the special order because I don't need it anymore. But yeah, I'm fully set up. There isn't a piece of ice that, as long as I have cash, I can't get through. So at this point, because I know my opponent isn't showing like fast advance, and I've trashed a bunch of NGOs, like I can just sort of play reactively.
Yeah, and even if the corp was fast advance, you have plenty of time given they're only on 2 points.
Yeah.
But a third ice on the remote, which would signal to me that they're going to be trying to score soon.
Yeah.
Or they're pretty tired of you getting in there. That's what it feels like it takes to stop you.
You can't stop gens. I'm sorry.
Look, once
Inside job past the first one, boomerang the second one, and then the third ice will finally hit.
and then I'll just pay for it.
And then hopefully there's another Bologna behind it. So that's what I'm expecting right now. I'm looking at your 5 credits.
They choose to
I'm
advance
worried.
that card. So 7 credits, 1 advancement.
So 1 advance on the card, yeah.
That card was in there last turn, by the way. As
Yeah.
well. It was not a newly installed card.
And
what
he's
is
not going for like an over advanced Beal. So
NGO? I don't know.
I don't think it's NGO because you would never install it without advancing it at least once.
Right.
I end up
So
choosing
I'm
to-
guessing it's probably just another Beal or a Bologna. And he's just gonna try to slow roll it out, maybe.
This is a funny choice because it's a choice between like the Stargate plan and the Turning Wheel plan, which is I think
That's do you want to do Plan A or Plan A1?
right.
I don't get it. What do those two things do?
So
They kind of did the same thing.
the Turning
Which
Wheel,
is?
the Turning Wheel will slowly give you additional accesses on R&D and HQ.
Okay.
Stargate will let you run into R&D and discard or trash one of the top 3 cards. So like they're both ways for the runner to see additional cards and like get things. They just do them in different ways. Anyway, I go ahead and bravado at the server after pulling my money. I have 12
Oh, yeah.
bucks.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Stop me, please.
Yeah, you have no fear at this point.
And even like the best thing about this is that because I'm using Bravado, if I full run the server, I'm gaining 9 because it's 6 plus 1 for each icy pass.
One, it's like every ice that res, like sure it costs you, but
I mean,
it's more information that you
this
get.
goddamn piece of garbage.
Endless EULA. My gosh.
And the runner unless the runner pays 1, and the run unless the runner, and the run unless the run, and the run. Anyway, it's 6
Paperclip
copies.
is just looking so sad against that ice.
Yeah. So it's 6 copies of pay 1, pay 1, pay 1, pay 1, pay 1, pay 1, pay 1.
6 times. My God.
And it costs 6 to res. It's kind of a cool piece of ice, actually.
I like it.
I think about letting all subroutines fire, then realize that it's going to be annoying to deal with, and just hit this one button to do it
Hit the
instead.
one button.
Because it's gonna
Nice job.
So you paid 6 either way.
yeah, no matter what.
Well, and just picture if you would have let them all fire, and then they resed a what was that card? Chief Slee. And just blasted you.
5. Anyway, so we get in, and we're going to see the most ridiculous card in the universe once it loads.
Oh, that's right.
So, my opponent, what they were trying to score was Better Citizen Program, an agenda I literally don't remember.
It has your name on it, though. Whenever you
Yes,
play run events.
right. This is like the hell counter for me. Like, if they had scored this, like...
Oh, yeah. You would have been tagged to high heaven.
So, like, I see this, and, like, right now, like, me on the call is just me laughing my ass off at, like, this, and they're also like, I really wanted to score that, goddammit. Anyway.
Weird, though, that it was sitting there all last turn with nothing.
That's how you just have to hide things sometimes. Plain sight.
Yeah.
Sadly, 4 advancement tokens means they have to let that, Yes, that is just on after they score it. Agenda abilities can be very debilitating because generally scoring is kind of risky business, especially on a 4-2.
Yep. 4-2s are more difficult per point you get for scoring them, so they typically have stronger abilities.
And by the time you get to 7, the game's over. So you realistically only have like 2, maybe 3 agendas up.
Yeah.
So they installed Daily Quest. Daily Quest is a little bit of a mini game. If I run into it and hit it, I gain $2, and I probably trash it. If you don't, they gain $3. This card's a giant pain in the ass because if you can't answer it, it's like, well, that's it.
Well, and especially on that 3 ice deep server where the first one is EULA, like it's gonna cost you so much just to get in there.
Yeah,
It's a siren song for sure.
Yeah.
I decide like screw it. I'm just gonna run R&D with $10. See if I score 2 points and end this game. Slot machine, which Surveyor.
Some pretty nasty ice.
Little Engine.
Whoa.
That could.
Little Engine's hilarious. It actually matches up really, like, decently well against Ngolo. 7 strength.
Does it really?
7 strength.
Oh, he's 7 strength, yeah. Huh.
Though,
Interesting.
not the best.
They just don't break the last sub.
Right, because it costs, I think it's 6 to break and 5, you get 5 back. So it's not the best.
I would not call that a good lineup.
Anyway, I'm going to grab a couple credits and then I'm going to go run the stupid junk. I don't want my opponent to have money, so.
So you haven't played either of your embezzles yet this game.
The problem there is I don't know what my opponent's holding.
That's true.
Like, I know they're holding. Actually, let's talk about that. Let's talk about known cards in our opponent's hand. I know the top 3 cards of R&D are, because that's sort of something you kind of have to know as you play through this. We've seen a lot of R&D accesses. What have we seen? When we went into HQ, we saw IPO, we saw a Daily Quest we trashed, and we saw Bologna. When we went into R&D, we saw Keegan Lane, and
NGO you trash.
NGO I trashed.
And another Bologna.
And another Bologna. So right now, we know that we stole one of the Bolognas, so we know that their hand is 2 Keegan Lanes and a Bologna, And I'm gonna bet that face down archives card is actually one of the Keegan lanes.
Yeah, I think so too. He's probably also holding one of the IPOs still for some reason. I guess he only has 2 credits, but
Yeah. And we know the next 3 cards on the deck are ice and expensive ice.
yeah.
Okay, so he's in a pretty bad spot, but you just need to get that Bologna, right?
That's it. I steal Bologna in this
Victory's in his hand. Just got to get it.
Yep. So what I'm looking for at this point is some sort of multi-access on HQ.
What are your options for that?
Legwork or charge up turning wheel.
Oh, turning wheel, yeah.
Which I could just do bounce off Bologna, or 3 times off of
just bounce off Pachinko and
Pachinko. Yeah. I think this one's funny because I don't actually care about either card. I can't play either.
No. Well, you can play Tapeworm. You have an extra mem.
I do not in Golos 2.
Oh, and Golos 2. I always forget that.
I know, I forget it. You'll see it once in the event where I try to install a paperclip and it's like, you can't.
Yeah, I did the same thing, even though I realized the problem multiple times during testing, but yeah, I made the mistake once during the tournament too.
So yeah, I decide, knowing the hand that I've seen, I'm just going to go for an embezzle. Because we kind of talked about the cards that they're going to have. They even, so we're going to jump on in. I want to use this to lower the number of cards. So embezzle, by the way. Make a run on HQ. If successful, name a card type. Reveal 2 cards. If they're the named card type, discard them and gain 4 per card discard. Trashed. And
it's specifically a non-agenda card.
Yeah, non-agenda card type. So the idea here is I want to thin out HQ. Like, we know Bologna's in there, so let's thin it out. Though here, actually no. Oh, right. I just play that because I'm just gonna discard it. I did the math and I realized that I would I know 1 ice, 1 upgrade, 1 agenda. Know that there's also probably an operation that's not going to work after I fire it. I'm just like, well, whatever. I'll take my 1 credit, 1 click, and leave. And they're like, what? The other reason for that is charging the turning wheel. The turning wheel charges on HQ runs. And as you saw, this deck actually does that a couple times where it just throws away run events because they're better for the econ for me to charge up.
Yeah, with all your synergy, you must be playing run events, right? For money.
It's better if I'm using
I guess you do get the click back, so it's like a clickless dollar.
It's better if I have the Swift, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, install dollar card and server. Yeah, I think this one is over pretty soon here. Because at this point, it's just a matter of time before I get the.
Yeah, we know what has to happen. We're just waiting for you to actually do it.
Yeah.
Do you play 3 copies of Legwork in this deck?
Do.
Yeah.
HQ. We have agendas at home. Pulls in the drive-thru, picks up a click and $1.
Try so beautiful. I love it.
Perfect.
So here I decide, let's go ahead and, I'm going to be playing this as econ anyway, so let's get in. Break. I think they res this ice, which is just a mistake because no, they don't. Yeah, they res this ice, which is in Pachinko with no text. I'm only tagged on the outermost ice.
Wow, yeah, that is completely useless.
Wow, poor guy.
Yeah.
He forgot.
Of course, I should just break my boomerang on it.
You should, yeah, because you actually can't install other boomerangs until you do.
Yeah. I don't think I think.
Why would you want to install other boomerangs?
Does boomerang specify an ice you're currently encountering? Because if it doesn't, you might not need to wait until a run to use it. Look it up.
Yeah, pull that up. Anyway, there's a Beal. Our opponent had a bunch of points in hand, so we just sort of
poor guy
run in there and steal it. So yeah, that's round 1. I feel like looking back on it, I feel pretty good about the my choices on where I was being aggressive. I feel a bit silly about seeing Bologna twice with $4. Like that's
That
just,
was pretty heart
like
wrenching.
whoops. Yeah, all right. I forgot Bologna had text. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. You're gonna see that a couple times throughout these events where it's like I forget a thing has text. All right.
Yeah.
Let's do round 2 and then we'll probably be good for the night.